Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Duffy. And tonight we are reviewing Carlton v Hawthorn at the MCG. Final scores were Carlton 8 goals 12, 60 points to the Hawthorn Footy Club, 12 goals 8, 80 points. I know what to make of that game, Duffy boy. I know that the pressure was great. And overall, I think you can't fault the pressure, as Vossi loves to say. I would love to hear that in his press conference, because I think that's something that he loves to say, unfortunately, because it's only about the pressure. But to me, before I throw to you, to me, the only thing I got out of that game was right now we are just simply not good enough to beat the top side. So
be better.
I'll throw straight to you, Duffy boy. How are you to start off with? Obviously, you went to the game as well, so it's good to speak about the game when we both went. But how are you to start off with, and what's your, I guess, initial thoughts?
Yeah, I'm starting to get to the age now where, like, I've seen so many disappointing losses or just losses as a whole. I'd love to know our whole life record. Geez, it'd be bad. It'd be almost 30% win record, I reckon. Don't want to touch on that. Don't want to get too too down in the dumps. But yeah, it's just I'm a bit. It's just like I've seen this story before. Like you said, I thought our intent all game. I thought our pressure, like our whole, it was great. I thought it was great. And I'm not here. People are going to go, oh, well, Daff, we weren't good enough. Of course we weren't good enough. I know that. But we were our intent, our hunt for the footy was better. Well, I don't think we would have had 7+ holding the ball free kicks tonight, which is great. It's that intent for the ball. For me, like you said, at the moment, we've just got to improve. We've just got to improve to get to a level where we know we can get to. And it's early in the season. And I know it's not good enough. I do not accept it, but we've got to find a way to improve. We've got to improve our skills, in my opinion. Our execution costs us in moments of the game where, on the flip side, you saw them and they executed in certain stages. I thought they weren't great tonight. I thought we had them. Right where we wanted them. I think we just had some patches there where we'd give up a couple goals in a row, but then we found a way to get a couple goals back, and I was like, okay. This is okay. This is good. We're finding ways to hit back at them. But unfortunately, in that kind of, I guess, second half and last quarter, scoreboard pressure wasn't there, and we ended up with 2 goals in the second half. 2 goals in the second half, and it's moments that just cost us, Patto, isn't it? You know, when we're inside 50s and we just miss shots. We miss shots that we should be kicking. Goes down the other end. They're kicking goals. That's all it's massive things in football. People go, oh, but it's okay. It was just one little moment. But it's a massive moment in the game. And one moment in particular, I look at when we had a little bit of momentum in the back end of the third quarter was when Cripps hit an inboard kick into Doherty at about 45 out. And he's just completely, let's use the term, shat the bed. Veteran player, shat the bed. It's not Lucas Camporelli. It's Sam Doherty. And I thought he was cool and calm and collected at some stages of the game in a good way. But when you need to take a grab, go back and kick the goal, that was the moment. And then you just started to see that run of Hawthorn going, we've got this now. We've got them where we want them. And they punished us in the last quarter. But yeah, intent was there. Execution needs to be better for next week.
It's well wrapped up. And yeah, right now it's just, I don't even know why it's really frustration, because we probably expected it.
Yeah.
Yes,
100%.
I tipped us in the preview show. It's just fucking delusion.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating.
Yeah.
And where I was sitting, there are a few Hawthorn supporters in front of me, and obviously the Carlton member who was there brought them, and they were just...
Well, what's that? First of all, what's that about?
Yeah.
I've seen it at Carlton. What are you fucking bringing them into the...
No, but even worse though.
Yeah, they're cockheads.
No, sticking the tongues out when they kick a goal.
Yeah.
Turn around And like you know me, if I'm at the game, I am fucking silent. I do not speak because I
Yes.
just fucking I'm just fucking shitting this up,
Yeah.
just like shitting the bed the
Yeah.
whole game.
I had a few. There was a few moments in the game where you just, there was a few. It was a. I thought the contest was really good. I thought the got antsy. It was
It
that
was
two big
great.
clubs going at each other. I had a few run-ins with it, like a bit of fun,
Yeah, but
nearby,
it's great.
going up your ass. Come on, like a few, and I thought it was really good, but we just didn't throw a punch in the last quarter.
Mm.
And it happened last week as well. Game on the line. No, like you're gonna lose games of footy. We both accept that, but not throwing a punch in the last quarter. Like fuck.
I think it just shows the maturity because last week we did the exact same. Like our fourth quarters, we are just like we don't know what to do, and I don't know if it's down to Jordan Russell. We mentioned it in the review show. I think we may have even mentioned it in the preview show. Since he's come into the club, our forward line has been disconnected, extremely disconnected. It does not work. And it is the long balls inside 50. I'm not saying it's Jordan Russell. I don't know what it's down to.
Yeah, I think we've had the same issue with the same coaches. I think it's the personnel out there. Figure it out. You got 27, 28-year-olds bombing the ball in, rushing the ball in.
Yeah, but tonight though,
Yeah.
it's the time to do it. It's wet. You need to get territory.
But then also, you still got to be able to find a target inside 50.
That's exactly right.
Like there was time. I get it. I completely get it. When you out of a clearance and you slam the ball in the boot, that's fine because you're trying to gain territory. You're trying to gain. But there was some moments where you get out the back and you got time. Your teammate should be telling you you've got time. And it happens every single year. Every year, Patto, we're out. And then we rush. We rush. And then when we need to rush, we don't. We take our time and get done holding the ball. It's just about picking our times to go and not. It's just, there's a grey area there and we can't fucking figure it out. And it loses us goals and it loses us games.
That's why I'm extremely worried about where we are within the club. Because we can't work out how to close games out. This is 2019 shit.
Yeah.
We are. We can't be speaking about the finals experience. We've now got the finals experience.
Yeah.
You know how to close out games. You still simply cannot do it. It is like we have 23 Lucas Camporellis out there in their second games. It is not fucking good enough. I'm fucking over it.
Yep.
What they are dishing out there week by week, and I know we're only in 2 rounds, but last year we were seeing it. We're constantly saying, oh yeah, but if we get all these players back, other than Mackay, no one else really comes into this side this year. Yes, maybe Jordan Boyd. Yes, Elijah Hollins. Yes.
Newman,
the players out there are good enough.
Yeah.
And they can win. They can get the 4 points. We saw it. Second quarter, third quarter, we were good. We had Hawthorn by the nuts. But we just simply cannot close out games when the pressure is upon us. When there's no pressure, we're fine. We're great. When we're down, we always come back.
Yeah.
Brisbane Lions last year in the elimination final, no pressure. We start to score. What do you know? The year before, prelim final, as soon as we get 5 goals out, oh my God, we could be in a grand final. Pressure.
Hit the bed. Yeah.
Hit the bed.
Yeah.
It's the same conversation week by week. And it's, if we win, it's fine because we win by, and of course we win close games. But when you look back at it, a lot of the games are actually quite lucky. They aren't structured to actually win the game.
Yeah.
Yes, you maybe might send Charlie Gurno back, which is fine. But if they have the same opportunities, they continuously shit the bed.
Yeah.
And yes, we're only 2 weeks in. It's a long season ahead. Maybe this experience will be great for round 19, round 20, when we might be contending for top 4.
Yeah.
But as you love to say, week by week.
Yep.
And we can only go week by week. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we can't. I agree. We can't be looking at round 8. We're focusing the Dogs next week. You just got to be better. Every week you got to find a way to be better. And then it's a long year. Look at 2023. We were shocking. And we almost made the grand final.
Yep.
Look at Brisbane last year. They were done for.
Exactly.
Done for. And look, they found ways to just improve a little bit. Little. I'm not expecting us to be the fully finished side right now in round 2. It's never the case. Hawthorn aren't. They're 3-0, but they aren't at their best. They aren't at their best.
No.
You're never at your best at this time of the year. If you are, most of the time,
Yeah.
you're falling down. So that you can obviously take not a positive, but you can also have a look at that going, we aren't at our best yet. But yeah, it's just like you say with the finishing off the last quarters. I think it's also just finishing off our work in the whole game. Like it's a third quarter, the game is in the balance. Hit 3 goals in front.
Exactly.
Take the moments. And then the issue is with the last quarters, we're leaving it to the last quarter for us to get. Why don't you get 2-3 goals in front? And then if they do kick the first 2 in the last quarter, you're still winning instead of being 3-4 goals down and the game's done. That's the difference. That's what good teams do. They get 2-3 goals in front and then they might struggle to start the last quarter, but you still got that buffer. And buffer is the simplest term in football that everyone knows. We want that 2-3 goal buffer, but it is so important. So important. And it's just, we can't score. We just can't score. Like 8-12, 9-15 last week, I think. I thought, Jack Silvani was presenting all right tonight up forward.
Yep.
But you got to finish off your work, Jack. Fuck me. 30-meter shots out. Kick the goal. Kick the goal. Like when when you're a goal up and you need that next one. We never, ever, ever, ever get the next one.
Which goal are you talking about? Which shot on goal?
I don't know, but he was in front of me. It was in the third quarter.
Okay.
Probably 30, 40 out. He took that mark off Fogarty's shank. Fogarty was going to kick the ball over to Kemp. Yeah. He shanks it, goes right. He takes a mark over Nash or Amon or whoever he was on.
Oh, yeah. I think
he's like 30, 40 out.
Yeah, okay.
Kick the goal.
Yeah.
I thought Jack was good tonight, but
yeah,
kick the goal.
Yeah.
It's just moments, man. It's moments. And look at Nick Watson in the last quarter. Yep. Running inside 50. Takes a bounce, settles, goals. A moment. Misses that goal, still 2 goals.
Yeah.
We're in the game. Kicks that, shuts the door.
Yeah.
That's all it is sometimes. And that's what good teams do. And you look at Hawthorn, I reckon the Giants last week, they took moments late. Lockie Keefe kicks that goal, misses that, they lose. So it's small. It is literally small. If you keep bringing that effort and then you improve with the execution, you'll win games of footy. Trust me. You will win games of footy more consistently. And I trust them to do that. But they just got to improve. And if they don't improve, we're going to be slogging our way to I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, it's moments, and I think you settled it perfectly there. Like, even I don't really want to bring Carlton back to tennis, but if I set up a really good point, it's fine, but it's actually executing the point.
100%.
And that's always the toughest thing. Yeah. And I'm always shitting that, and that's why I'm shit at tennis, mate.
But it's all sports.
Yeah.
I'm a big basketball watcher, and you watch a game, you go, we're up by 5 with 5 minutes to go. If we just kept putting the foot down, hit that 3, game over.
Yep.
But you just don't have that finishing touch, and we will find that. I trust this group. I really do. I really do. And people go, well, Daf, they look shit, blah, 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 blah. We will figure it out. We just got to figure it out. Next week's got to be a win. It's got to be a win, and then you start off again. I think we've got to be 2-2 heading into gather round, I think. Got to win. I know, week by week. Week by week. Dogs first, but
yeah, because we're saying 2-2, but the week after it's a Collingwood Footy Club, which is just brilliant. Just exactly what you want. But, in terms of moments though, because
here we go.
You mentioned about Doc as well, and I completely agree. Like it's the last quarter. Sauce had another shot on goal.
Yep.
There was a clear high tackle as well, which George Hewitt would have gone back and slot the goal as well,
mate.
And the replay on that was I was quite. We're not gonna even touch on the umpires. I don't think we're gonna drop to that level, but unfortunately, there was some pretty crucial calls that would have resulted 2 goals. Like, it's not like it was 40 meters out; it was 20 meters out directly in front. So Yeah, I don't know. But they somehow find a way to call out for Hawthorn. But anyway,
Fuck.
yeah. But in terms of moments, though, like I completely agree. Like Sam Doherty, that's a guy who's in what I don't even know how many years he's played now, but he's probably played 15 plus, I would say. Not too.
Well, he's
probably.
31, so
Oh, is he
yeah,
31? Okay, 31.
so 12 years.
12? Yeah, 12.
Yeah, a decade of football.
Yep.
Like, fuck. Take the
And
grab, man.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, mentioned there about Nick Watson. How many? He's played
2.
25 years. Oh, yeah, 2. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He goes back and kicks it.
Yep.
I thought he was a 20-year player out there. Oh, 2 years. Second year.
Yeah.
Goes back, slots it.
Gee,
So
I must say, he cops his flack. I think just because of his size, and he's an easy target. But
he's a star.
yep. And what I liked about his game tonight, he found ways to impact at the stoppage. There was one instance where we were in our D50. No, we were 70 meters out from goal, and he was near us. It's not like a big moment, but I was watching him. He pushed out, and he goes, I want an extra number forward. Tap goes down. He finds a way. Handball out today. They're out. So it's just little things like that, which I think we need to find ways to get other guys involved, whether it's Fogarty, Williams, Motlop, guys like that. We just need extra numbers sometimes. Rather than being a kick down the line, which you're not going to win, why don't you get a handball chain going? Why don't you get something going? Like, it's just like we're bombing the ball and we've got Motlop versus Battle. Like, to be honest, I actually thought we halved a lot of contests that we shouldn't have tonight. I thought we did really well with battling those 50-50s. I thought, Fogarty at times he'd be against Barras and he was 50-50. And we still didn't find a way to convert those chances. So, yeah.
I thought you were about to do a cheeky pun there and say battling battle.
Oh, fuck. We're making him like he's a handy player. We're making him look like a fucking superstar.
I know.
Like, when I thought we took Sicily out of the game in the first half, down in defence. That's why they put him up forward, because he just wasn't impacting behind the ball. So they put him. That's why he's so good. Like, they put him up forward, and he, does his thing.
Yeah.
And that another moment, I thought in the last quarter when he took that mark, and we've got TDK and Wiedering trying to take a mark. Punch the ball. Punch the ball. Don't be so up yourself. Punch the fucking ball. Like, of course, Wiedering and TDK probably have the right to take the grab. Sicily's in front. Respect the man in front. Punch the ball. And what happens? They kick the goal. They go 2 goals in front. Another moment. It's just, yep.
Is that coaching or instinct?
No, that's player instinct. That's not good enough. You got to it's all about the percentages. Take the mark when you know you're going to take the mark, but in a moment when they're coming forward, Sicily's a beautiful mark of the ball. He's in front. He's found his way in front. Punch the ball. You look at Barras and guys like that, they punch the ball when they know they can't take the mark. It's just percentages, little percentages. And it makes me more irritated by the result, because you punch that ball, it's 7 points the difference, ball goes out of bounds, stoppage. They don't kick a goal. So you're in the game, and they just got to figure out ways to pick times, when to go, when not to go. It's similar with ball in hand. So it's hopefully they can find a way.
Would you think that's why a Lewis Young or a Nick Haynes, because when they do punch the ball instead of potentially marking it, there is some like, what the fuck are you doing? So that's why I thought I would ask if it's coaching or instinct, because I actually think when Lewis Young actually punches it over the boundary line, he probably knows that he might not be an 100% guarantee to mark that ball. So I probably would rather him just punch it over the boundary line. Exact same with Nick Haynes. So Wiedering is a great marker, of course, but as you said, it's a pack mark. James Sicily is in front. It's a wet game. Tom Niconing coming behind you. Punch the ball, Wieders.
Yeah. Anyone.
Reset.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand it. But Mitch McGovern's the exact same, though.
Yeah.
Mitch McGovern tries to mark it, tries to be the hero, which I love, because if he marks it, I'm here celebrating. But it's the basic fundamentals that we extremely lack.
Yeah.
It is simplicity within the games that we just cannot ever
Mm.
execute. Sorry.
It's so small.
Yeah.
Seriously,
And it makes a difference, though. Huge
you
difference.
turn that into a ball hitting the boundary line, you're in the game. They don't kick that goal. Like, it's just, I know people will be like, but our issues are huge. They're huge. They're not really.
Who's saying that, though? There's no
But someone
way
will.
anyone's
There'll
saying
be
that.
people overreacting, Patto. People are overreacting. It's, of course, both of us are not accepting this loss.
Yeah.
But you've got to take an improvement look at this view.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to go down to the shit. If you're just going, oh, let's drop this guy, let's drop 5 guys, and then put, Cripps up forward, let's put Kerno centre. If we do that, the season's done. I thought we were actually structured up very well behind the footy tonight.
Yeah.
There was moments where they had repeat entry after repeat entry after repeat entry, and they weren't kicking goals. Well, I think was it the second quarter down the far end, down your end, which is the far end for me. Remember the battle kept getting it back?
Yep.
Straight back in, and we were getting it out, and which is frustrating because we kept kicking it out, but we weren't relenting and letting him score.
Yep.
We could have just gone, it's too hard. It's too hard. We just weren't. So that's what I like, and that's a positive I'm taking out of the game. If we take that into the next few weeks, then you fix your offensive game, it'll all come together. So I know it's not an easy game, AFL football. We both know that from watching this football club, but they're not massive things.
Yeah. And then eventually, say a Jesse Motlop kicked a goal, Brody Kemp kicked a goal. What did we say last week about Richmond? The opportunities were there first quarter, second quarter. Eventually, those opportunities will turn into scoring opportunities. And what do you know?
Yeah.
So, the game was on the line in that third quarter.
Yes.
Sorry, 3/4 time heading into the fourth quarter. The game was on the line. And I just can't understand why we always consistently find a way to let Hawthorn or the opposition get ahead and make our life harder. I don't understand it. And it's just cheap goals as well.
Oh.
They aren't even hard. It's not even freakish goals. It's just goals that are just like, what the fuck? Nick Watson, how does he have that much space?
Well, that goal started from our forward line.
Exactly.
So they got out and got forward without really much pressure.
So to me, that shows we aren't fit enough, or when the time is there to win the game, the pressure is not there. I don't care if it's halfway through the second quarter. It needs to be 10 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
Yeah. And so you're not going to be at that 100% pressure all the time, but it's more being able to structure up going, if we turn the ball over forward, we're okay. And I thought we did structure enough, but some of that, like that Watson one you've touched on, how's the ball? The ball's getting out easy in the forward line. What's going on there? Why are we outnumbered all the time? And we're outnumbered sometimes in defence. Like the one where Gunston got out the back for his goal. They got it from our forward line.
Yeah, I know.
And he's deep inside 50. I don't know how he's got the advantage.
I saw it, actually.
Yeah, it was just confusing.
So Wiedering tried to. So this is exactly. I know the exact one because Chol was there as well.
Yeah.
So Chol was in that contest, but Wiedering tried to contest which is fine. If you want to try and impact that contest, that's fine. But you need to communicate with Mitch McGovern, who was there as well. So Mitch McGovern was in front of Gunston, right?
Yeah.
And Ollie Hollands was almost closer to get the spoil on Gunston than McGovern, and McGovern was meant to be on him.
Yeah, there's a few moments with McGovern. I think with McGovern a few times where he's looking to go to a contest or looking to go to a player, doesn't fully commit.
Yeah.
And then he's too far gone. He's too far gone. That's your example right there, what you're saying. He's just too far gone. If you're going to commit you might as well commit. Lay a tackle or just, interrupt that kick. But if you're not there, you're in the no man's land. You're in the space where it's like you're not even impacting that and you're letting your opponent out the back. It's just not good enough.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. And then you just let him get a cheap goal. And speaking about Ollie Hollands, I thought some of his efforts were good tonight. I thought he was good. Yeah. I actually thought he was really good. And I'm surprised by his defensive. Like he was playing on Dylan Moore at some stages. I
And
thought Moore,
yeah, I thought he was great. Yep.
like I actually think he was really, really good tonight. He's just throwing his body on the line at certain stages, and I think his ball use has been good. So it's promising to see him at half back. Actually,
Mm.
been a little bit of a nice little find, I think.
I'm glad you actually said that because Dylan Moore, yeah,
Mm.
well, Ollie Hollands was on Dylan Moore for majority of the
Yeah.
game, if not the whole game. Like
Mm.
whenever
Mm.
Moore was on the ground, especially up forward, I feel like Hollands was on Moore.
Yep.
So, he only kicked one goal, only had nine
Mm.
disposals, only
Wow.
130 meters gained.
Yeah.
So I thought Ollie Hollands did
Mm.
great, and I think we are obviously concerned about Ollie Hollands learning the defensive craft. I think he was probably one of our best defenders tonight, if not maybe Jacob Wayne or even Lewis Young to a stretch.
Yeah.
So I think those sort of numbers to keep a guy like Dylan Moore, an All-Australian forward, to
Huge.
very minimal impact is massive for Ollie Hollands.
Mm.
And like even if you look at Lockie Cowan, I don't think he was overly great tonight. He
No.
was found out a little bit, but I still think he kept Jack Ginnivan to minimal
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
So whether you look at his actual defensive role of actually
Mm.
not making sure that his opponent doesn't impact the contest, which I'm sure
Yeah.
he did, and I think he did that in somewhat of a good, like somewhat solid. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, it's not individual efforts. You can't just keep
No.
one or two players down, and that's what we just simply can't find.
Mm.
We can't find a way to keep these players down, but also the side as a whole.
Yeah.
We can never find a way to, oh, yeah, we might keep this guy down, but then the other guy is dominating on the other flank.
Mm.
Just baffles me. But before I throw to you, Duffy boy, I just thought I would have a look at the stats and especially the defensive acts, I guess. And in terms of tackles, we were 85 to 88. So we were obviously behind by the Hawks by 3 tackles. But I still think our defensive,
Yep.
I guess, acts were really good tonight. And also we were tackles inside 50, 19 to 17, and we actually led that. So
Yeah.
I think tackles inside 50 was actually quite solid. But in terms of, I think we both agree that our intent was really good tonight.
Mm-mm.
But we've been saying intent at like pressure really leads to saying.
Yeah.
In terms of the game plan, every club you would expect would have contest pressure. That
Yep.
is the number one thing. So every club has that. So we
Yeah.
can't be a good side if our number one game plan, our plan A, for example, is only contest and pressure. We have to have other arsenals within our game plan to disrupt the opposition, and I simply don't think we have that. So pressure was great tonight. Intent was great tonight. Can't fault the intent. But in terms of the game plan tonight, how do you think we can improve moving into next week?
Yeah, I think the one takeaway from the ball use for me is that not using the corridor enough. I think we've got to find ways. You know, when we go, when you watch Hawthorn or other teams, when they're on the wing, they're always looking inboard. And there was always a guy calling for it. Even if he doesn't get it, he's always there.
Yeah.
And he's going to be used at some point. And then I think, obviously, with the Williams goal they got out the back, we go through the guts. And I'm not saying go through the guts all the time because that can be risky, right? But when the time is there, you've got to be inboard. We seem to score more goals when we're central. Because when we're on that wing, we're always going that pocket. And imagine that pocket where you sit, like that side of the ground. We kept going, like we'd be on the wing side of the interchange. And we don't get inside enough. The kicks aren't inside enough. And it's an easy defense. But you look at the Williams goal, you're going inboard, central, easy pickings, easy goals. So it's just little things. There's a lot of little things, but you just got to just find a way to kick easier goals.
Yeah.
Because they ended up with 80, and they had a few easy goals. I thought we defended really well, and 60 is not good enough. 60 is not good enough, and it's the shots on goal And we always go, well, why do we keep missing? Well, because we're having shots from 40, 45 out, Patto. Like, there's no one really having shots from 15, 20, is there? Like you said, when we missed out on the Hewitt free kick, those are the positions where you want to be marking the ball. And they had a few moments there. I think Harder, we kicked a few goals from 30 out. They're just easier goals. You don't need to be a superstar to kick those goals. So it's hopefully we just clean that up. There's just the ball use for me and just figure out a way to just carve a team up. You know, chop them up with 15-meter passes. Don't focus on the long bombs. I'm going to start calling them moon balls because you're almost hitting the moon with these kicks, Patto. Like, it's getting ridiculous. And we don't have Harry and Charlie playing. So what is the game plan?
That's my question, though. Like, I can't see a game plan out there. I can see contests, pressure, intent. Fine, perfect, great. You would
bare minimum
expect pressure. Like, you're a professional footballer, you get paid a fucking shitload of money to go out there. I would bloody hope you would give pressure.
Yep.
So, like, that's what I'm asking, because I can't see a game plan out there. I can't see any changes. Sam Mitchell is probably one of the best coaches in the league right now because he can find stuff within game to change things up. I just don't think we have anything else. We are completely clueless when it comes to pressure, and we need to change something, but we simply can't. Can you see the same thing?
I think we structure up great defensively. I think that's not an issue. I think our defense. I think we held up really well tonight.
Yeah,
it's just with ball in hand. It's forward of the ball. That's the only. If we can fix that, fuck.
Exactly.
It's the structure tonight was great behind the ball. I think that side of the game plan is solid. Perfect. I think it's solid.
Yep.
Of course, there's always ways to improve defensively, but I thought we were good structurally. It's just that forward of the ball stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know what the setups are in the forward 50. We seem to be, like, every time Kemp kept bringing his opponent with Charlie, so there's always two flying with Charlie. Like, wouldn't you want to take your opponent away from Charlie? Isn't like I remember in local footy, that's what we talked about. Like, if we've got our key forward, a key pillar down there, you don't want a double team. You don't want guys flying over the top of him. You want him trying to get as many one-on-ones as you can, which is hard with Charlie because they're always double teaming him. And also, can we just hit a low dart to Charlie at one point? You'd almost just hit a kick into space, just hit a 15, 20-meter little 45-degree kick out in front of him. He'll find a way to mark the ball. Instead, we're going this. Up, 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 up. And we're expecting him to be fucking God, Patto. He might take one every 10 of those marks. Why don't we just hit him on the lead? It's the same with Mackay. They're lead players. Hit him on the lead. Hit it out in front. When they're at full speed, they're so hard. Running at the pill, they're going to take it. Instead, we're trying to hit a pinpoint pass at the spot they're at rather than the space in front of them. So, and also, like I said last week, mids running into the forward line. Well, what's going on there? You're crowding the forward line. You're bringing your man, once again, bringing your opponent into the defense. Simple things again. And if I'm talking about it next week, Patto,
to me, this is obvious stuff.
Yeah.
We know this. We know that Harry and Charlie perform best when they have space in front of them. We know that.
Yeah.
Me as a key forward, I want that.
Yep.
I want my life to be fucking easy, not hard. Like that's just normal to me.
Yeah, and they're just expecting a super mark every time, a pack mark. Do you know how hard a pack mark is?
Like James Sicily, the reason why he took that hack mark is because his opponent was out of the pack. So what do you know? He was actually able to actually mark it.
But it's a 1 in 10 mark. He's not going to take that every time.
50, not even 1 in 10.
Yeah.
In the wet, you are not taking that mark consistently. And if you do take, I said it on the review episode last week. I said it. If you are to take that mark, it is freakish. It
Yeah.
is a really good mark. And that's why that pack mark is, oh, what a mark. It's
Yeah.
spoken about. No one speaks about a dart on the lead. Who cares? But if you go back and get the 6 points, you don't get 100 points for
No.
a boundary from
No.
50 out torp. You don't get 50 points for that. It is down to if it goes through the big sticks,
Yeah.
it does not fucking matter.
It doesn't.
And I cannot
We
understand.
make our life hard, Patto. That's exactly what you're saying.
I cannot understand, and you said it with the midfielders. I cannot understand that because get the midfielders out of there. I'm getting a little bit
set up at the 50.
But get the midfielders out of there. So that means that there is 6 forwards, 6 defenders. That means that there is less players in there, and that means that there is more space for the key forwards to lead in. If Hawthorn want to send some players back, that's fine.
Good on them.
But that means that we have midfielders waiting for the ball. If they were to hack it out, they're waiting. I literally saw it when Hawthorn were in their forward 50.
Yes.
We were hacking it out every single time they had numbers out.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the midfielders aren't trying to get inside the forward 50 to try and save themselves and get themselves a cheap goal. They don't fucking care.
To be honest, staying on the outside will actually give you a goal.
Yep.
Look at Walsh when he kicked that goal, which they didn't pay advantage. He was out in the 50.
Exactly.
Kicked a goal.
Yep.
They're actually making it harder for themselves.
Yep.
You're actually trying to get a harder goal.
Yep.
Rather than an easy goal. But yeah, that's just junior footy stuff. And that's why transition defense is shit. Because we're not set up. Ball comes out, midfielders are up forward. They're out. We're gone. We're giving them 50. If you give them 10, 20 metres of space, a team like Hawthorn, they're going to make you pay.
So are you saying when they go from defense to forward?
Yeah, because if the mids aren't set up, so if you haven't got a wall, this is what we did in junior footy. And I'm not saying it's going to,
Yeah.
If I'm not going to say all the mids have to not go in, but if you got 4, 5, 6 guys setting up and your defenders setting up 60 from goal, 50, 60 from goal, they will find it hard to get it forward.
Yeah.
Like, they're always going to get it out. But if you're there, the wall, at least you can get a stoppage and stop them, and then you set up even further back.
Yeah.
But if you're inside 50, so if you're 30 or 40 from goal, they rebound it out. You're so far away from impacting the ball as a midfielder. Yeah. And then you leave, and then it's layers of defense. I think in modern football, for me, you want to be stopping them as high up the ground as you can in terms of pressure. You want to be laying a tackle. I don't want to inside D50. You want to minimize those opportunities. You want to be pressuring and turning over the ball as high up the ground as you can. But we just struggle at that sometimes.
So when you say that you were impressed with the defensive structure, what do you mean by that? Do you actually mean the backline structure, or is it the midfielders' role to do that? Like what do you mean by when you say impressed by the structure? What do you mean?
No, I think our structure was good in terms of when they had the ball, like it might have been a stoppage, or we're set up. We were set up really well and strong. But I mean, not in a sense that in the forward line, we seem to struggle because we don't set up well enough.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no repeat entry.
Yeah.
It's out.
Yeah.
It's always out. You look at Hawthorn, it's in.
Yeah.
It's just, but if we have a stoppage in the, 60, 70 metres out from Hawthorn's goal, we seem to set up really well. So it's, I don't know.
So, because I completely agree, and that's why I asked the question, because I wanted to see your perspective on it, and I completely agree. It's when we actually have control of our defensive structure, we're quite good. But it's when they get out so quickly, we don't have a player, and that's why I thought I'd mention Barras was that player. And that's why I thought I would also go back about the Zach Williams mark. I literally remember that moment because Adam Saad just sprinted.
Yep.
Zach Williams got out the back, penetrating kick.
Yep.
Great kick, goal, right?
And they weren't ready for it.
Yeah, but they worked. As soon as that happened, they said, this is not happening again tonight.
Yeah.
This is not happening again tonight. So Barras was that spare behind the ball. Yep. And the whole night, I was watching him the whole night.
Yeah.
And he did not move off that. He was making sure that he was that last player.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw on Hawthorn's side was Jacob Wienering was that Barras type, but John Newcomb was behind him. So they always had an extra player. So if the ball gets catapulted so quickly, which we all know that Hawthorn is one of the best teams in the competition to do that, they know that they have a player outside because Wiedering's trying to manage what's in front of the ball. Oh, what do you know? There's a player behind him.
Yeah.
And he can't do much about that because he needs to. He's been coached to stand where he is. Widders isn't doing a bad job. But who's on Newcomb?
Yeah, I know.
Like, why is he getting out?
Yeah, it's a bit of risk. It's trying to risk versus reward. It's very high risk.
Yeah, but if he's out though.
Oh, yeah, it's a bad thing.
Where's our spare though?
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, go on.
Is it a mid? Is it a, you got to find, I feel like you've always got to find your direct opponent or just the opponent. You've always got to find someone, get a body.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought he was very good tonight, Newcomb. I thought he's probably best on, I imagine. Anyway.
Yeah. Love to speak about the opposition players. Yeah, he had the most disposals. John Newcomb 32, Paddy Cripps 29, George Hewitt 28, Chera 28. So I thought he did quite well tonight. But question I thought I would also ask you is about, I guess, the contested possessions. And I think obviously it was quite a wet game, but I think we were quite good in that aspect. But this also goes back to contest and pressure. That's our one wood. It's great, but we need to have a different arsenal in our game plan because Hawthorn, obviously heading into this game, that's their number one priority, making sure that we don't get easy contested possessions.
Yep.
Be on top of that. We were 147 to 143. Uncontested possessions were 159 to 215.
Yeah, I think that's a difference in most AFL games. I think uncontested possessions, people go, oh, but no, that's the ones that win you the game.
Yeah. And we were 147 to 143. We were only +4.
Yeah.
It's not like we were dominating contested possessions. We got smacked in uncontested.
That's what I mean with like last week when the game was on line with chipping. But sometimes you do need to do that. Slow the ball down. Get a few guys some touches early. I'd hate to know how many targets we hit. One target. It wasn't happening much. I know it's a wetter game, but fuck, Patto.
Yeah.
You got to just find a way to hit some targets. Little 45 degrees. Give an option. Little dinky little kicks. Sometimes they work. That's how you cut open and then you penetrate, like you said, like Saad. It's keeping the ball and uncontested stuff's huge. And I liked the games from our mids, but I think. I don't know. Do we find a way to get Walsh on a wing? Do we, you know what I mean, with the uncontested stuff? Do we find? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I worry we waste his touches, him getting in and under. You know what I mean? I want to see him on the outside using his feet. When he's playing at his best, he's got that time and space, lowering the eyes, kicking goals. Do we find a way to get him more on the outside? I don't know. I'm not saying it's a definite change, but we've got to find a way to get these good players some touches with a bit of space. Could be a Chera, could be a Walsh. Love him in the guts, love it. Yeah. But they're always under the pump.
Yeah.
And they never have time and space. So it's, and good teams always have weapons on the wing. And it just seemed like do we have weapons on the wing at the moment? I don't know.
No, well, it's well said. I mean, Amon and D'Ambrosio, two of probably the best kicks in the competition right now. And they're both a wingman. Josh Weddle is a halfback and he can slide up to a wing, even half forward. Yeah. One of the best kicks in the competition. So I completely agree. I think when Sam Walsh gets the time to actually use his foot, he's one of the best kicks in the team. Same with Chera.
Yeah. Love him in the guts. Love him. But I think there's almost a time where you go, Walsh, you shift out. Just play a bit of outside for a bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way we've got to do it sometimes. Just change shit up. Because even like what you said when Gov made those efforts and then he stayed up forward, they were a bit puzzled as what was going on. How did they give an extra?
Mm.
So it's just little things that you got to just throw your opponent's way. Make them think about the game. Don't make it predictable. Predictability is what shit teams do. And you know what they're to give you every week. You go, he's going to play here. He's going to play here. They're going to play this way. I think, I look at St Kilda, predictable. They're predictable. So it's unpredictability. You got to change shit up.
Do you like the unpredictability of Jesse Mollop and Zach Williams going through the middle?
I didn't mind the look of Zach going through. I thought Jesse had a better second half when he got his hands on the ball.
Yep.
I like the look of it. I don't think he's a mid. I think he can play as a high half forward when he wants to be.
Yep.
But yeah, I think he needs to play that kind of not a Nick Watson role, but just find a way to just pick and choose when you're going into a stoppage. And that's a lot of footy IQ as well. Just going, maybe we need that extra number. We've got Harry and Charlie up forward. Maybe I don't need to be that next kick. Yeah. Maybe I need to be getting it to the next kick. So, yeah, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook on it. Yeah. And I'm disappointed, of course, but we've got to just be positive and find a way to just improve. Otherwise, it's going to be, a downer.
Yeah. Would that be like a Tom Papley, you'd say?
Yeah. Just, he's not always in the stoppage, but it's unpredictability.
Yeah. It's
just adding an extra number, or, maybe we're struggling in the stoppage. Maybe I get behind the stoppage and go defensive side. Yep. Help the defense.
Yep.
Little things. So it's going to be an interesting watch to see what we do roles wise next week against a team that's, down on personnel. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I completely agree, and that's what I think we're kind of lacking. We're lacking that freedom sort of player. We don't have that player who actually just rolls up like a Jeremy Cameron, like a Tom Papley, like probably a Will Day to an extent.
We tried it with Charlie tonight. He was playing high. There was moments in the game which I didn't understand tonight.
It's not the time.
I get it with Harry. If you got Harry down there, you go, Charlie, you free roam, mate. You go for it.
Yep.
I like the idea. It's a very Jezza Cameron, but tonight,
not the time.
Then he gets the ball, and then you go, who is he to kick it to? Like that's the difference. You just got to make sure I like it. I like the trial of it, and you're trying to throw something different the opponent's way. And everyone criticizes Voss for not doing enough, so he does something, and then we criticize him. I get it. Not the right game to do it.
Yeah.
Do it next week when Harry's back. Would love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Charlie to centre bounce. At some stage, not all the time. I'm not saying every, sometimes when Jezza Cameron goes in, you go, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, Jezza's got the ball.
Yeah.
It's like he's a skillful footballer, Charlie.
Yeah.
And I want his games to be not a result of goals all the time.
Yeah.
I want him to have ripper games where he's getting 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, hopefully Harry's back, and that'll make it 50 times easier structurally ahead of the ball.
Yeah, no, exactly right. One more question, I guess, before we move on to the bagger of the game votes, which might be quite hard to do. I think it might be a little bit easier from last week, but still might be quite tricky. Is about Sam Walsh, and I completely agree about the way that we use him. I think it was SCN. They had, I think his last name's Hoyne. I think.
Yeah.
The stats man from Champion Data, and he came on and actually spoke about how valuable Sam Walsh is, and how in 2022 and 2024 he was outside of the top 100 in the competition in terms of ratings within Champion Data. But in 2023, when we were playing our best football from, I think it was round 14 to the prelim final, he was top 15 in the competition. If not, I think it was maybe 15 in the competition. So that shows that when we are playing our best football, Sam Walsh is most of the time our best player.
Yeah.
So look back to the semi-final, probably our best moment as a Carlton supporter, that semi-final against Melbourne when we beat them, and how well Sam Walsh played. He was still getting his 25 to 30.
Yeah.
But he was impacting forward as well. And that's why I don't mind Sam Walsh probably starting half forward.
Yes.
Maybe going up. But also on the wing, I completely agree. And that's, I think his contested possessions are just too high, because he doesn't need that many contested possessions. You have Cripps and Hewitt there as your balls. And if you need someone else in there, Chera can be that player. Or vice versa. Switch Walshy around and get Chera on the outside, because he has a great kick.
Mm.
So, what's your thoughts on that? I want your thoughts about when our best football is performed. Sam Walsh does perform as well. So, I want your thoughts on that. But back to kind of what you were saying earlier about how we play Sam Walsh. Do you think that could be, I guess, a thing that we could see that maybe Sam Walsh is just that half forward player and might be that roaming player, have that
Yeah.
freedom? What are your
Mm.
thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like it. I just think we just got to find ways to utilize our weapons. I think that's what the best teams do. They just find a way to use those players. And, look at the Giants and Finn Callahan. He runs through the middle. He goes on the wing. Sometimes he's half back. Sometimes he's half forward. So it's really dictating on how the game is going
Yeah.
for me. And I think if we're, like you said, if I'm looking at the stats and Walsh has got 10 and it's 6 handballs, 7 handballs to 3 kicks, it's a bit of a worry for mine. And then you look at the rest and it's handball happy. Like you got Cripps, who's he's handballing a lot because he's inside and, same as George. So you just got to just utilize your weapons, like you said with Chera as well. And that's how you fix your inside 50s. Utilize your weapons, give them a bit more space. I would like to see that. Just a bit of a shift in position sometimes. And not saying just take him out of the middle all the time, but just, it might be a little, one quarter where you just go, you're on the wing. You're high half forward, like you said, with Walshy, which I liked that role when he played that in 2023.
Yeah. I mean, like I actually look at Walsh's game and he actually performed quite well. Like he had
I thought he
22
was good.
disposals, 10 kicks, 12 handballs. That's probably the kick to handball ratio that we probably want the other way, probably 12 kicks or 10 handballs, or even more kicks really. But 12 tackles.
Mm.
That's a huge game in terms of tackles, but also 5 clearances, which was nowhere near the best. Sorry, I thought could have been higher. But I mean, George Jordan and Paddy Cripps led the clearances with 11. But yeah, I think I it's a big conversation about Sam Walsh because there is a lot of conversations going to why is Sam Walsh not performing to what he was in 2021. I think he was more that I think he performs a little bit better when there isn't a Patrick Cripps getting all of that attention. If he's that
Yeah.
main dog, he probably, and I mean, by all means, I want Patrick Cripps in there, my God.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can still use Sam Walsh to what we did in 2023 to dominating a final. And we were saying, like, oh, this guy's a finals player. This guy's like a Chris Judd who dominates in finals. So it's so good that we know what Sam Walsh can bring, but it's down to if he can actually bring that sort of football back. He's so young. Come on, Walshy. And I don't know if it's Walshy. I don't know if it's the coaching staff trying to look into it, but it needs to happen because we are just over the predictability. It needs to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying Lewis Young go into the centre bounce and plays in midfield. I'm not saying that, but put a different look onto our side. But Daff, final segment of this review show. It is the bagger of the game votes. Have you got your votes?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Yeah, it's it's much easier than last week. I I was looking at it today. I was like trying to look at the stats and stuff last week. Like, gee, how do we find a way to do that? But yeah, for me, it's I think our midfielders stood out. I'm not trying to be midfield biased, but thought they were pretty good tonight. So first of all, I've got Georgie effing Hewitt, as you like to say, had 10 clearances at half time, which was massive. But yeah, he's got my one vote. I thought he was good. Yeah, he had 10 at half time.
Wow, so he only had one clearance in the second half.
Yeah, or something like that. But then yeah, he's an interesting player, George, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just because I wish he had a bit more penetration in his kick, but anyway. Yeah, so Georgie with one vote, 2 votes, Cripper. I thought his intent was fucking amazing. And that's what we want from him. Much better than last week. And yeah, he was just hunting on. He was just finding ways to get through the packs. And 3 votes is just impact. TDK absolutely dominated Lloyd Meek. And he's just his value is just going up and up and up and up and up every game he plays, and it's an absolute shame that first goal didn't count, which for some reason it didn't count. But those blue fucking idiots, those light blue fucking idiots, tried to find ways to ruin a good spectacle at the MCG like they usually do.
Yep, there was probably a million just lost
Oh,
right there, Duffy boy. Well said, Daffy Boy. I completely agree with your votes. We've had a bit of a technical issue, Daffy Boy, to end the episode. Brilliant way to end the episode. But I've got the exact same votes as you. 1 vote George Hewitt, 2 votes Paddy Cripps, 3 votes TDK. I think TDK was by far our best player. But
yep.
Daff, before we wrap up the episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we unfortunately say, well, probably fortunately say bye to the Hawks and move on to the Dogs next week?
Yeah, let's just soak whatever emotions we're feeling at the moment, and let's get to Marvel on next Friday. It's a long year. That's my mentality this year. Long year, week by week. I think that's the Baggers Chat mentality for 2025.
Yep, exactly right. I'm very sorry. It's been a bit of a quick wrap up, but we just want to make sure that we just get this episode done, because I don't know if it's my internet. I don't know if it's your internet, Daffy Boy, but we're just trying to wrap this up as quickly as possible so we can get to bed. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know it is very frustrating to see Carlton Football Club at the Carlton Football Club every single week in, week out, perform how they have the past few weeks. But as Duff said, there is a very long season ahead. There is so much football to be played, a lot of time to hopefully give Carlton a chance to win our trust back, but who bloody knows in 2025. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube, but also make sure to look at our podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts as well. Make sure to give some love there, but also to our socials, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. There's a few others out there, Daffy Boy, to get around to add some extra content on your page. But to you, Daffy Boy, and to every single blue bagger out there, I'll just put it like this here with the scarf. The baggers. It looks like I'm strangling myself. Mate.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
The baggers.